Viewers, drop your location and local time in the comments. I like knowing where this story is landing in the world. Now, imagine this. The sound of a $3 million Ferrari's engine bouncing off marble hospital walls like it's auditioning for a Fast and Furious spin-off nobody asked for. Charles Grayson barrels down the corridor, jaw so tight you could slice prosciutto on it, shouting, "You've lost your damn mind. You stole my car." He's not wrong about the taking part, but historians still argue whether the stole part applies when the alternative was a 6-year-old girl never breathing again. Maya's still cuffed, still in sweat-soaked scrubs, still smelling faintly of cinnamon toast and kids vomiting underrated perfume, by the way. Her eyes aren't on him. They're glued to the trauma room doors where Elena, his daughter, disappeared minutes ago. Charles doesn't ask about her. He's too busy listing every damaged carbon fiber panel like they're on the endangered species list. Maya tries to explain. 911 said 14 minutes. Elena didn't have 14 minutes. That earns her the kind of finger-pointing lecture you'd expect from a man who's never been told no without adding a tip. Then the ER doctor strolls in clipboard, smudge of blood, calm as a man debating pizza toppings and says, "Your daughter's alive because of this woman." Silence, heavy and awkward, falls. Charles blinks, processes, then still says, "She destroyed my car." Maya fires back. And that little girl is the only one of her kind in the world. If this were a courtroom, I'd call that a mic drop. 3 days earlier, the mansion was cathedral quiet. Maya moved through it with a laundry basket of Elena's dresses, folded to the strict order that had gotten the last housekeeper fired when she got her on. She's been here 4 years, surviving by the unspoken house rule. Be present but invisible. The only one who ever saw her was Elena, 6 years old, sunshine and sneakers, and, in Maya's opinion, smarter than most of the board members Charles lunches with. They shared hair braiding, bedtime stories, and the kind of grief that leave you skilled at reading people's silences. That morning, Maya found Elena pale and slow to smile, but no one else noticed, not the rotation of nannies, not Charles pacing with Bluetooth in ear. Breakfast untouched, skin gray, lips pale, forehead slick. Then the seizure hit. The intercom was dead, her phone was dead, and the staff SUV keys were in the guard booth, which is how she ended up breaking a glass case for the Ferrari key fob, whispering, "Don't you dare leave me," as she strapped Elena into butter-soft leather seats. Through leafy West Haven streets, she drove like a mother, not a thief, running red lights with the flashers on, squad cars picking her up on traffic cams. The car scraped, bounced, howled. Maya kept one hand on the wheel, one on Elena's head, muttering prayers between breaths. She hit the ER ramp in under 9 minutes, skidding to a stop. Nurses ran, a doctor shouted orders, and Maya's world shrank to watching Elena's small chest rise under an oxygen mask until a hand landed on her shoulder and a voice said, "Ma'am, you're under arrest." The holding room smells like old coffee and resignation. Maya sits at the metal table, wrists free now, but red from the cuffs, replaying every turn of the drive like she's editing dashcam footage in her mind. Detective Sarah Coleman walks in, late 50s, hair pulled into a bun that says, "No nonsense," but eyes that say she's seen some sets of file down, and studies Maya for a long beat. "You work for Charles Grayson?" Maya nods. "4 years. Mostly housekeeping. Also, I look after his daughter." Coleman flips a page. "Report says you took his Ferrari without permission, ran multiple red lights, led to a police chase." "All true." Maya's voice is quiet but steady. "Yes. But I didn't do it to flee. I did it to get Elena to the hospital." Coleman asks the obvious why, not wait for paramedics. Maya explains about the 14-minute ETA and the child's blue lips. Coleman leans back, unreadable. "Technically, that's grand theft auto," she says, "and reckless endangerment." Pause. "Also, doctor says if you'd been 2 minutes later, she might have died. So we're in a complicated place." Complicated place is right. Maya's released on the condition she stay available for questioning, and the cool, dusk air outside the precinct feels like a temporary loan. At home, she thinks of Elena's small hand curled around a blanket, the laugh that once lit up hallways. She doesn't think about Charles's shouting at least she tries not to. Back at the Grayson estate, Charles is pacing his study, bourbon in hand, getting eviscerated on social media. Someone at the hospital recorded the whole hallway confrontation as yelling. The cuffs, the Maid comment, and it's viral. His legal counsel, Carla, says she's not pressing charges. He's shocked. After all that, Carla says Maya told police she understood, said he was scared. Historians still argue whether that was grace or strategy. Days later, Maya's badge still works when she walks into the mansion not as a maid, not as anything defined. She brings Elena's cinnamon toast at the hospital. The girl, cheeks less pale now, says, "You saved me with a red rocket car." Maya swallows hard. Then comes Olivia Marin, Charles's advisor, delivering a warning that Maya's return sends the wrong message. Translation: she's a symbol now, and symbols make the powerful nervous. But something's shifting. Maya starts speaking with other staff and the servants, wind glistening to overlooked injuries, pay disputes, small humiliations. "We're the heart of this house," she tells them. Soon there's a staff meeting she calls "Not Charles," outlining dignity, fairness, protection. Charles stands in the back, arms crossed, watching. Olivia murmurs, "She's forcing her hand." Charles answers, "Nosh forcing my eyes open." That's when the garden feels different. Not just manicured perfection, but a place where truth's starting to take root. And Maya no longer invisibilize right there, watering it. The change doesn't roar, and it seeps like sunlight into a room someone forgot to open. News vans idle at the estate's gates, waiting for spectacle, but inside the real work begins. Charles reads letters from strangers, a Michigan woman raising 5 kids on a housekeeper's salary, saying Maya gave her hope. He starts a fund for domestic workers, names it after his late wife Rachel, and then offers Maya a new role, Director of Household Advocacy, across all his properties. She studies him, weighing the offer like a rare coin. "I'm not coming back for the paycheck," she says. "If I stay, it's for her." And no more silence for staff. Charles nods. Fair. The foundation's launch is Modesto orchestras. No celebrity speeches, just staff, community members, and Elena cutting the ribbon with small but mighty hands. Maya speaks without notes. "I didn't save a child to be a hero. I did it because I loved her. And if loving someone makes you disobedient, maybe obedience was never the point." Applause rises steady and deep. Over months, the estate becomes unrecognizable in quiet ways. Staff speak openly. Managers ask permission instead of issuing orders. And the Rose Garden turns into a sanctuary where gardeners, cooks, and nannies take breaks together. Maya leads sessions at the Foundation Stories of Injustice, aired alongside small triumphs. From a manager apologizing to a nanny to a driver finally getting paid on time. Then come the chestnut trees. Elena plants the first one along a new path that runs from the estate into the community, a living bridge. Children follow, planting seeds, each a small brown promise. "It's growing," Elena whispers weeks later, pointing to a tender shoot. Maya smiles. "Just like us." At the staff lounge, a municipal envelope arrives. City of West Haven Award of Civic Courage, presented to Maya Williams. She shares it with everyone for every unseen act, every time you stood for someone else. They clap, not loud, but honest, the kind that sticks in your ribs. That night, as the magnolia petals fall in silver moonlight, Maya writes in her leather notebook, "Justice isn't carved in stone. It's sown in soil, tended by hands brave enough to believe in tomorrow." She closes it, sets it beside a single chestnut, and breathes easy. The wind down comes softly, pacing slows, voices hush. The estate sleeps under magnolia and chestnut buds, their branches swaying like metronomes set to a gentler rhythm. In the servants' wing, laughter from earlier lingers in the air, faint but warm. Out in the garden, the path gleams pale under starlight. Each planted tree a small silhouette against the night, carrying the weight of promises buried deep. Maya steps out onto the patio, a blanket around her shoulders. She watches the wind move through the petals, each drift like a note from a song she's still learning to hum. Inside, Elena sleeps soundly, her breath steady, her dreams untroubled. Maya holds that stillness close, knowing it's the rarest currency in a world that rarely pauses. She whispers, almost to herself, that justice can be quiet, and that's enough tonight. Enough to let the air settle, enough to let the heart unclench. Somewhere beyond the garden wall, the city turns in its sleep, unaware of the seeds planted here, but in time, they'll grow tall enough to be seen. And in the hush of that certainty, she finally lets her eyes close.